and today I am here to talk with you guys. We're going to be talking about New Moon by Stephenie Meyer. I recently did a video talking about how I read Twilight for the first time, and I am continuing on with the entire series. So I recently completed New Moon. I'm sorry it took so long to get a video out, and I am sorry that I haven't uploaded anything in the past few weeks. Things have been super busy and intense lately in my personal life. Instead of me blabbing any longer, let's go ahead and get into the vlog footage of me reading New Moon. Bella cutting her finger, opening a present at a birthday party at the Cullens. Edward dove to protect her and injured her more. Wonder what it is she's remembering here. I'm not sure, but I feel like we're gonna find out. But look who was right. They're leaving Forks. The Cullens are planning on leaving Forks, so I'm all sad. I don't want the Cullens to leave. I ship Bella and Edward. I'm not for this whole Jacob thing. I feel like I'm really gonna hate their relationship. I'm so sad for Bella right now because I know that Edward is gonna be the one leaving and that Bella is gonna be staying, but she doesn't know that. She thinks that she's gonna be asked to leave, and so I'm sad for her. Two people that she's the closest to are gonna be leaving, and it's sad. So Bella is buying a motorcycle. She had the idea of talking to Jacob, and so that's how they're going to spend all this time together. They're talking about bears being close to a resort or something. I think that Jacob is going to have something to do with it. So I feel like that Jacob is kind of just a rebound, though. It's giving us this impression that she can't be happy and everything without a guy. Embry is totally missing school because either he's joined and become a werewolf, or he found something out about the werewolves, that those two are going to become werewolves or something like that. He knows something. So my theory is that these guys are turned into werewolves by Sam. So she had her little motorcycle accident. Bella cut her head. Shocker. I really don't like the fact that they're being called hallucinations. That's a very problematic element. Can't stand that part. A hallucination and a delusion are two very different things. Second of all, hallucinations and delusions are not amazing. So she's using Jacob to fill the void that she feels because she no longer has Edward in her life. She circled her life around Edward when she was with him rather than living life together like this. It was here's Edward, and Bella's okay, I'm going to wrap my life around this person. And so now we're seeing that reflected through the fact that she doesn't know what to do with herself without him. And so now she's okay, well, I need to fill this void somehow, and she's filling it not by rebuilding her relationships with her friends so much as she is spending time with Jacob.
So Bella, Mike, and Jacob are going to the movies together. This is real awkward.
So I really like this part where Jacob had already figured out that she didn't like music anymore, and she had never said anything about it. And then I really also love the fact that that's underlying. She used to love music because of Edward. She no longer likes music. And so I really love how much is packed into that one situation. So I have another theory for you guys. I think that because Jacob seems to be hot quite frequently, in Bella's opinion. So I think that the heat has something to do with being a werewolf. And so he feels hot and he doesn't feel very well, and it's actually because of the chain. Now Bella is sick too. She is now being stupid yet again, and she's gonna go and try to find this place by herself like an idiot. Low-key shocked that Bella actually found the meadow on her own. So Laurent, one of the vampires, things are going down and we don't necessarily trust the guy. Restrictions are difficult. And then he said, sometimes I cheat. Dun dun dun. Okay, I'm worried now. Did Victoria ever find you, I asked. And he said, yes. Actually, I came here as a favor to her. She won't be happy about this. Stuff's going down, you guys. About what? About me killing you? Oh my God, I was right. I was right to be worried. She wanted to save that part for herself. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think Jacob's gonna save her, and I don't want that to be the case. I don't want it to constantly be, oh, she gets in a crazy situation and the guy saves her every time. Clearly, the dark-haired wolf, the dark wolf, is Jacob. Because jumping off a cliff is the right way to handle life. She just does these stupid things to get the attention of a guy who's not even there. Bella is learning her lesson about being stupid and reckless. New theory. Since James helped Alice figure out the first part of her life, what if Victoria sheds some light on some of the other questions that they have, like why she was institutionalized? I think they're going to see the Volturi family, and I think they're going to turn Bella into a vampire because she knows so much. It's either kill her or turn her. Turns out Bella is immune to all of their abilities, but that doesn't make sense because she wasn't immune to Jasper. Alice can see her future, so I'm slightly confused as to why. Oh, so I think what Alice just did was like let Aro see what she sees in her ability to see the future. I think Alice showed a vision of Bella being turned because he doesn't know that they're not permanent. She is gonna put her mortality up for vote. This will be interesting. So things are going down, fam, because everyone except Rosalie voted yes to turn Bella. Gosh. What? I was not expecting this, but Edward just asked Bella to marry him. What? Okay, so Bella just totally screwed up, and she tells him about the cliff, which he didn't know anything about. I was under the impression that he kissed her, that Jacob kissed her in this book, but I don't remember reading that, so pretty sure Bella's about to get in like so much trouble because the motorcycle. The treaty is quite specific. If any of them bite a human, the truce is over. Bite, not killed. I'm done! Yay! So I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog footage, and let's get into my overall thoughts. I did a little bit differently this time, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And hopefully it will, you know, be a little bit more cohesive and hopefully a bit shorter too. So hopefully this one ends up being shorter. So let's go ahead and get into those final thoughts. So the first thing I'm going to do is share one of the quotes that I enjoyed from this book with you. It didn't feel like the pain had weakened over time, rather that I'd grown strong enough to bear it. I really loved that particular quote, and I think it's very applicable to pain in real life. So there was our first category. Now let's move into the writing. All in all, I still find Stephenie Meyer's writing to be extremely artful. She uses a lot of imagery and metaphorical writing that I really enjoy. Here are some of the artful elements that I enjoyed. I really enjoyed the dream sequence where she thinks that she's seeing her gran up until she realizes that it was a mirror. There was a very poetic line used to describe Alice's laugh. It said that the sound was all silver, a wind chime. Another artful element that I enjoyed was the use of waves of pain when she was experiencing her waves of emotion. That is kind of reflected in the waves where she jumps off the cliff. Two other elements of the writing that I wanted to point out is that Stephenie Meyer writes a lot of discerning males. Males that can look at the girl and discern what it is that their actions and expression and body language portray. Either Stephenie Meyer writes to live vicariously through her character in that she wants a male who is discerning, or that she is surrounded by discerning. The other thing that I wanted to point out was the fact that I thought it was brilliant to point out the fact that vampires have an advantage when it comes to swimming because they don't have to breathe. I've never seen anybody point that out, and I think it's totally true and genius. So now that we've talked about quotes and writing, let's move into some development of things. Let's talk about character development first. Since we read the story from Bella's perspective, let's talk about her development first. We see that part of the struggle that she has with her relationship with Edward is the fact that she feels like she can't give him anything. And I feel like part of that stems from the age gap, not just, you know, in the terms of her being younger as it was, but the fact that he's lived for 100 years. I really loved the character arc we saw as Bella went through the stages of the grief of losing that relationship as she went from the zombie state and kind of having her awakening. I really liked seeing her internal war between wanting to remember Edward and wanting to not think about him. I love that Bella came to the understanding and realization that she doesn't deal with being alone well. I really loved that Bella realized her stupidity over jumping off the cliff and, you know, some of the stupidity of the things she was doing and the extreme ridiculousness of it all. I really liked that small little snippet we got to see into Carlisle about helping others and how that helps him. In Jacob, we really see this development of self-doubt. Now let's move into relational development. This is for non-romantic parts of relationships, by the way. So in this book, we saw a lot more tension between Charlie and other characters, both with Bella and Billy. Charlie had an extremely emotional time during this book, both with dealing with Bella and where she was at and his issues with her, and then the loss of a close friend. I hated the change in Jessica. Angela is so underrated. We see her for like 2 seconds in this book. I love Alice's relationship with Bella though, and how sweet she is with Bella and how she's just such a precious person. I also loved seeing the arc of Rosalie and Bella's relationship. So let's talk about the romance. So my first and initial thought is that Jacob is a rebound. Regardless of the fact that Bella has absolutely no desire to be with him romantically, because she closes herself off from her other friends again, though, about the fact that she doesn't see that romance. And the fact that it was unrequited is definitely interesting to me. That is not the impression that I got before reading these books. I was under the impression that there was supposed to be a kiss between Jacob and Bella, and I don't at all remember there being a kiss. Now let's finally move into the problematic elements of the story. There was this one little comment that was made that Edward could get any female administrator to do like anything he wanted. Excuse me? The next problematic element for me is the idea that Bella and Edward just can't live without one another. Problematic element number 3 is the idea that Bella uses putting herself in danger to get the attention of a guy, regardless of if the guy is there or not. I discussed this a little bit in the vlog footage, but the concept of hallucinations versus delusion. There was this other little comment that was really sexist about the fact that Bella wasn't getting all excited about the bikes the way the guys were because she didn't have the same chromosome. Seriously? So I'm not allowed to love motorcycles? I'm sorry. I didn't know that was against the rules of being a girl. I'm sorry. Next, the next element that drove me nuts was the buildup of girl hate. That we already had this girl hate vibe in the first book, but it's like worse in this book because her friend has become her like frenemy. My next element is the fact that her emotional stuff was so much more exaggerated than what it actually should have been. I mean, she wasn't even with Edward that long. I've seen people handle divorce better than Bella is handling this, 6-month relationship ending. The part where she says, "Are you breaking up with me?" to Jacob, and I'm like, you're not in a relationship. When Jacob becomes a werewolf, he does the whole "I'm dangerous" thing, so we get that all over again for the millionth time. I really hated the whole "a date with Jacob, a date with Edward" thing, where she's like, oh, if I do this with Jacob, and go ride the motorcycles and do something stupid and dangerous, then it's like, not only am I getting to go on a date with this guy that I'm not even romantically interested in, but I get to go on a date with this guy that's not even here and doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. And the last problematic element that I have to point out is the whole stake a claim thing. So all in all, I definitely thought that the first book was better than the second book. I found that not necessarily a ton of problematic elements came out of the woodwork so much as the problematic elements that had previously existed in the first book were more amplified in the second book. The main explanation as to why I think that so many of the problematic elements exist is because she wants to build tension and add to the plot. However, these things kind of more retract from the plot than add to it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I promise I have some more videos coming soon. It won't be like a month before you see another video. We have a lot of readathons coming up and I'm so excited. So I will be doing a lot of readathon vlogs. We have the biannual Bibliothon, a 24 and 48, a reverse Dewey's 24-hour readathon, and the booktubeathon, all coming up at some point this month. But I do have some other videos aside from that coming soon and coming your way, so be sure to check back in. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. That way you can see my video for Eclipse. And peace out, Bear Scouts.